And a countdown cute Kate from Clapham, roll 39.
Now, Kate, looking back over the 70s, as far as music is concerned, what are your thoughts about the music in the 70s?
I think there's been an incredibly big revolution. I think the fact that right at the beginning of the 70s there was the punk thing was very much a birth thing, and I think it's developed something that would never have happened otherwise. It made people rethink music, and especially lyrics and attitudes. And I think people are now much more interested in becoming a projected image on television. Like, a lot of people are starting to act and use their hands and fight back. And a lot of the lyrics are just talking about stuff that was never talked before, which is very good.
Right, now being both a songwriter and a performer, and also being very active on stage with your movements, ballet and etc., do you think perhaps that in the early 70s that people were just getting up and just standing there and not sort of expressing anything on stage? I mean, what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, that used to get me a lot, because when I used to watch telly and you'd see singers, how they'd broken their heart.
Right.
You know, I just couldn't understand why they were singing when they obviously weren't connecting it with their emotions, because singing is such an emotional thing. That's what music is, you know. It can make people cry. And I think people are beginning to get into that a lot more now. They're actually becoming the song rather than just being the plastic image, which is great, because the more we get rid of that, the better, I think.
Now, who were you following, say, around about the start of the 70s?
Well, I've always been into Bowie, because he was very different. He was doing that thing, you know. And I really loved Roxy music when they came out. I was really into people that were trying something new and different. And I've always been into people like Dylan and the Beatles, obviously, yes.
And the music for the 80s, the first part of the 80s, how do you see it?
Oh, I think it's going to be very sci-fi, because the big trend, especially cinematically, in the last, say, 3 years has really been science fiction, you know, Star Wars, The Alien, and they're fantastic films. And musically, there's not really that much to go with them. In fact, the newest thing is Gary Newman.
Right.
I don't know if that's happened over in Australia.
Chibayami.
But in England, he's just gone berserk. People are mad over this guy and his music. And I really feel that the synth sound he's getting is the equivalent to the visual sci-fi.
Right.
And that's what I think will happen soon. But it won't last long, I don't think.
And Kate Bush, the 80s.
I just want to keep trying. I hope I can stick around, because there's going to be so much exploding that I think a lot of us will maybe go under if we don't keep trying.
And you're writing a lot more songs?
Yeah, I am. And, you know, myself personally, I've been so inspired by the new groups that keep popping up. I mean, the one at the moment that just bores me over is Police. I think they're just incredible. Such a good band. And, you know, bands like Thin Lizzy and Boomtown Rats, they've got so much energy that you just sit there and think, wow, you know, I've got to do something.
Yeah.
It's really good.
Well, listen, thanks for being on the show again.
Thank you, it's good to see you again.
Sure is.
Yeah.